Thank you all for being here. I'm Kendra Cawley. I'm the Dean of Academic Affairs for the college, and it is my very great pleasure to introduce to you Dr. Fabin Zeng. Dr. Zeng received his bachelor's degree in finance from Shanghai University of Finance and Economics, his master's degree in communication from the Graduate School of Chinese Academic of Social Science, and his PhD in communication from Renmin University in 2015. He's been teaching and conducting research at the College of Journalism and Mass Communication in Jinan, thank you. Jinan University since 2004, and he's a 2017 Fulbright Visiting Scholar at the University of Wisconsin in Madison. Dr. Zeng's main research interests are on new media and political communication. His lecture will introduce social media, citizen participation, and social media use on citizen participation, including who takes part in citizen participation on social media, how this happens, as well as two possible scenarios of social media use on citizen participation. There will be time at the end to ask questions. Dr. Zeng's lecture is made possible by the internationalization initiatives at Portland Community College and via the Outreach Lecturing Fund of the Fulbright Foundation. And one last note, this lecture is being taped. There's a sign-up sheet going around, and if you prefer not to be on anything that's broadcast, you need to indicate that on the form that's going around. Okay, and so without further ado, Dr. Zeng.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for your coming. Before I came to the United States, my research topic is the relationship between internet use and political participation in China. I have already published 2 books and several articles on this topic. When I applied the Fulbright project, they require us to do a research in the field of the United States. After exploring the literature on this topic, I found the hot topic on this is the relationship between social media use and citizen participation in the United States. Therefore, I applied this project and get approval. Now, support the Fulbright program. I travel around several universities in the United States. Until now, I have already traveled 18 universities. This is the 19th university I travel. I would like to give a presentation to different universities and answer their questions. Now today, I want to give a topic on the social media and in China. This day, I will give you, my presentation will include 5 parts. The first is I will give you some background information. The second, I will give you development of social media in China. The third is the censorship of social media in China. The fourth is the relationship between social media and citizen participation in China. The last but not the least, I will give my idea on the future of the social media in China. The first, background information. Politics of China. Different from the politics in the United States, there's only one ruling party in China, which is the Communist Party of China. The party controls the whole society through different mechanisms, such as the media. The central government leader want to build the consensus for new policy when it announced. However, control is often maintained over the large group through control of information. That means the most important thing to control the society is to control the information by control the different media, including traditional media, new media, and social media. Since the beginning of the China liberation, the ruling party has long controlled the country media, such as the printing newspaper, radio, television, magazine. Now in the era of the internet, they would like to control this new media, including social media. After President Xi Jinping came into power, he held more grip on the media, especially on the new media. Since 2016, the president of Xi Jinping required all the state media must reflect totally loyalty to the party. And in this circumstance, censorship in both new and old media sphere is tightened after he came into power. The government maintains censorship over all media capable of reaching a wide audience. Now we can see individuals can use the new media or social media to reach thousands of people, which is also controlled by the Chinese government because they want to control the society through this method of controlling information. So just after this background information, we will move on to the development of social media in China. As we all know, China has more population than any other country in the world. So among this population, maybe there are 60% of people who have went on to internet. China has the world's biggest internet user base, which is almost 649 million users. That is more than the population in the United States. And he also owns the world's social media user because of the online population of China. 91% has a social media account such as WeChat, microblog, Yan, Momo, rather than Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Because I will give you later then why this happened. This is the history or timeline of the social media all around the world. In 1995, we can see the first generation of social media came into in the world, just like MSN. And in 1998, the first generation of social media in China also came into being, just like OICQ at that time, a similar version of the ICQ. However, ICQ sued the OICQ because of the similar name of the ICQ. So the ICQ has to change his name from OICQ to QQ. Now we can also call QQ, which is owned by the company Tencent. In 2009, another popular social media, which is called Weibo, came into being. And 2010, the most popular social media in China, WeChat, which is controlled by the same company who owns the QQ, is also launched in China. So I would like to give a first introduction of the QQ. QQ at that time is OICQ. Was released in February 1998. The most powerful function of the QQ is in the personal message, which we call IM. QQ IM still exists as a Windows application and now complemented by Mac, Android, and iPhone version today. That means individuals can use different computer or iPhone to use this software. Besides instant messaging, QQ or QQ 空间, which is also mean the online virtual space, is another important part of QQ digital service. In QQ, individuals can upload their private information, including text message, voice message, audio message, video message, to chat their follower, relative, or colleagues. Now, the most popular social media used in China is WeChat. WeChat is a very powerful tool for all of the Chinese people to use. WeChat launched in 2011. The difference between WeChat and QQ is that it requires users to have a smartphone to log into the network. That means use the smartphone, the user can use lots of functions of the WeChat, including providing text messages, voice messages, and video call, as well as multimedia sharing, WeChat Moment, and the WeChat subscription. This is the interface of WeChat. From left, we can see the one-to-one chat in WeChat. And the right is the good chat. And the next is the moment. And the last is the subscription of WeChat. I will give you some more detailed function of WeChat. The most important function of WeChat is they can send the instant message very easily and efficiently. WeChat supports different ways of instant messaging, which include text message, voice message, audio message, and picture, etc. User can send previous state or live picture and video, name card or other user, coupon, lucky money package, or current GPS location with friends, either individual or in a group chat. WeChat now become the most powerful channel in interpersonal communication than any other in China. In the past time, Chinese people like to contact other people through telephone, such as the landline or mobile. Nowadays, they like to contact other people through WeChat because the communication of WeChat is almost free of charge and very easily. Just give you an example. Now I'm in the United States. I always contact my family, my wife, and my son every day through the video messaging of WeChat, which made it more close than before. The second function of WeChat is the public account. WeChat supports users to register as a public account, which enables them to push feeds to subscribers, interact with subscribers, and provide them with service. Public account can be used as a platform for service such as a hospital pre-registration, visa renewal, or credit card service, which is the most powerful tools in mass communication in China. I mean, if you want to disseminate your information to thousands of the Chinese people, you just open a public account in WeChat. You will make this become a similar function of mass media. So it's also controlled by the government. Moment. WeChat supports users to post image and text, share music and articles, as well as comment and like in the moment. Only the friends from the user content will be able to view their moment content and comment. That means if I came to the Portland Community College, I take lots of pictures, I upload my moment, my family will give me like and comment, and ask where I am going, then I will tell you everything about this. So it's a really excellent good communication to connect my friend and relative as a group. WeChat payment, different from other social media in the United States. The very important function of WeChat is that WeChat payment. WeChat support payment and money transfer, just like the credit card in the United States, which allow the user to peer-to-peer transfer and electronic bill payment. Because the account of WeChat payment is connected to the debit account of the individual in the bank. When they transfer money from the WeChat payment to other people, that means they transfer the money from the debit account to the other debit account in the bank. So WeChat also make lots of money through WeChat payment. Because when the people transfer money from debit account to their account in the WeChat payment, they cannot get any interest from the WeChat. Because we can see there are lots of people, maybe thousands or million people in China use the WeChat payment. They will sum up thousands of renminbi or money to the WeChat payment, and the WeChat unnecessarily to give them interest. All the interest of the WeChat payment are belong to the WeChat company Tencent. So it make lots of money. City service. Oh, I will give you an example, WeChat payment. Nowadays, there's almost no cash in China. You can almost pay everything through WeChat payment. Even in many cities in the street, when a beggar want to ask money from other people, now the individual always tell the beggar that he didn't bring any money with him. But the beggar should bring out his mobile and ask the other people, said, please help me and transfer money from my WeChat payment. Yeah, this is unimaginable in the United States. And I suggest you, if you want to travel to China, you should register a WeChat account and connect your WeChat account to WeChat payment, which will make you more convenient or comfortable when you are traveling. This is a very helpful tool. So we can see that with the WeChat payment, we can carry out lots of city service in 20 cities across China. This city service include booking doctor appointment, paying electricity fee or traffic fine, and booking transportation, or hailing a taxi or cab. If you only want to stand a street in the big city or hail a taxi, you cannot hail anyone. You should use the software such as the WeChat payment or the Didi software to have a test. So it's a very powerful tool. So you can see why the WeChat become the most popular social media used in China, because it combines different functions of the social media in the United States. It combines Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, and credit card. So now, and it becomes the dominant, the number one social media use. According to the research survey, Chinese people almost spend more than 6 and 7 hours on WeChat per day. This is unimaginable. Weibo microblog is also another popular social media used in China, which was developed by Xinlang company. For many foreign fans, Weibo or microblogging is the equivalent of Twitter. Because of the popularity of Xinlang Weibo, Weibo is often used to refer to Xinlang Weibo, because Xinlang Weibo is the number one Weibo among all of the Weibo software. Xinlang Weibo collects thousands of the celebrities in his software, which include popular star, moving star, tycoon, high official, famous intellectual. The celebrity use the Xinlang Weibo to attract their friends and followers to drive their popularity. Xinlang Weibo was launched in 2009. Its executive invite and persuade many Chinese celebrities to join the service. Weibo is the celebrity hub. Chinese celebrities develop Weibo as a way to connect with their friends and drive their popularity. This is the image of the celebrity of Weibo, also Xinlang microblog. Until now, maybe you would like to ask me one question. Why Chinese people don't use Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or WhatsApp? I will answer that. Because of the censorship of social media in China. In mainland China, we cannot access Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, WhatsApp, Google, even New York Times without VPN, virtual private network. I will give you some information about the VPN later. And there are three-layer filter system in China now. The first is Great Firewall. The second is keyword blocking. The third is manual censoring. The first, Great Firewall was launched about 2002. The function of Great Firewall is to block off certain websites and social media services such as Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube from mainland China. Great Firewall is also another form of trade protection that allows China to grow its own internet giant, such as the Tencent, Alibaba, and Baidu. Because without this protection, the internet company in China cannot compete with that in the United States. Because when we see Tencent is the similar function of the Facebook, Alibaba has the same function of the Amazon, and Baidu has the same function of the Google. When Amazon, Facebook, and Google came into China to compete with this company, maybe the internet company in China will be backwards. So it's also another trade protectionist. Keyword blocking. Besides the Great Firewall, the Chinese government also want to use the keyword blocking to censor the improper information in social media. China uses what we call IDS, or intrusion detection system, that inspect all internet traffic passing by machine automatically. That means if the traffic contain match with a list of predefined keyword, such as the Tiananmen Square protest, Falun Gong movement, the machine will check it and find it automatically and delete it. So anyone who wants to talk about this information related to the sensitive word, it will delete by the machine automatically, which is a powerful tool for the Chinese government or company to censor the improper information. The most hot topic of this censorship is the Tiananmen Square protest, because it related the legitimacy of the Chinese government. So maybe anyone who talk about some different opinion from the government will be put into jail on this topic. Tiananmen Square protest happened in 1989. Manual censoring. Manual censoring refers to the active deletion of messages published by individual. I just give you an example. Just a month before, a very famous internet software company in China, which called 今日头条, promised to the government to employ more than 5,000 people to act as an editor to delete the improper information. Manual censoring belongs to the last line of defense, in which improper information that leads through the crack of the previous two filters will be censored manually. That means the individual can detect the information to see whether this information has contained the sensitive word or improper information. If you find it improper, it will delete very quickly. So through this three levels of censorship, the Chinese government can control the society through control the information in different media. Although the censorship of social media or internet in China, there's still the individual use this tool to take part in different levels of citizen participation, to express their opinion and mobilize other people to take part in different levels of participation. But in in China, there's one rule for the people, which is that the people cannot go out street to protest the government without permission. In order to lower the potential risk of political repercussion, citizens in China prefer online expression of opinion rather than have direct conflict with the authority in offline social setting. That means the Chinese people are likely to go out of street. They likely to express his opinion through internet or new media, affect the policy of the Chinese government. In this sense, social media use offer an effective channel for public discussion and citizen mobilization in China. Social media and online public sphere. In order to understanding the function of the social media on citizen participation, we must introduce you a very helpful concept of the public sphere. According to Habermas in 1989, a very famous German philosopher, the public sphere serves as an independent realm between the private sphere and the state, in which citizens can freely express their concern about general interests. Because democratic politics is a collective endeavor, social levels are important to maintain active public behavior and public decision making. That means without the collective action or express your opinion, you cannot have any impact on the government policy. So public sphere is very helpful to understanding the citizen participation and democracy in the world. The public sphere has become one of the more concepts to analyze the political implication of the internet revolution in China. That means the citizenship, especially some famous intellectuals, like to use the internet or social media, express his opinion to mobilize other people, affect the policy of the government. However, the model of the public sphere in Chinese society is quite different from Habermas' normative notion because of the censorship of the government. Without the censorship of the government, the important information cannot come into to let other people to understand it. So public sphere is also become a fair of in some extent in China. According to other research, mass media studies have also indicated that in Asian authoritarian countries, such as in China, the propaganda-oriented pattern in media control system make it hard to achieve Habermas' ideal definition. And when exploring the Chinese public sphere, we need to notice a dual tension. That means on the one hand, how citizens achieve their goal by strategically use social media. This is one hand. On the other hand is how the government make a compromise or take control in the interaction with them to handle social conflict and contradiction in political reform. That means on the one hand, the individual want to use the social media to express his own idea. And the other hand, the government also want to use the social media to control the public opinion in this media. Social media as a new phenomenon in Chinese society play a very important role in shaping public opinion and political sphere in China today. I will give an example. Guo Meimei Incident. In 2011, a young woman in mainland China named Guo Meimei claimed that she was the general commercial manager of the Red Cross Society of China and continued to show off her extravagant lifestyle on Xinlang Weibo. Because of her position in non-profit organization, netizens questioned her high income and then quickly turned into criticize the management. Although the management later denied the existence of the position and Guo Meimei employment, citizens still insisted that the management should disclose more detailed information about its operation. Following this event, other scandals involving charity in China were revealed, which made the donation in China become more low than before, just after the Guo Meimei incident. So the individual expressed some disagreement on the government on this topic of Guo Meimei incident. Online social movement through social media. Social media also play another function, such as which could facilitate community participation and how to create large, dense network to reach social ties in which the internet was employed as a coordination tool in the process of collective action. That means the people can use the social media to mobilize other people. In this circumstance, online interaction intermingle with offline activity in real life. For example, a very famous journalist, Deng Fei, launched a free lunch project in 2011. This project started in 2011 on Weibo with support from China Charity Foundation. It offered free lunch boxes with add a dish and rice to children in poor region. From 2011 to 2013, this program collected 43 million renminbi and subsidized 200 schools. This project also mobilized 500 journalism and dozen mass media. Now, Weibo become a very important publicity and mobilization platform to make the people to take part in different levels of citizen participation. We can see the word of the project is that your free yuan donation will bring them simple happiness. I will give you another example on online social movement. We can all, as we all know, Me Too movement has launched in the United States first. Now, Me Too movement also happened in China since this year. A Chinese university has fired a professor accused sexual misconduct after a former student named him in a Me Too movement in January 2018. The former student, Law CC, who were in the United States now, shared a story on China version of Twitter Weibo early this month. Her account went viral and was seen as China's first widely shared Me Too movement. In her post, she said that the professor had tried to force himself on her 30 years ago. She had also contacted other women who had said they had been harassed by the professor and gathered evidence, which include audio recording before taking the case to the university and sharing the case online. Her post on Weibo gained more than 3 million within a day and triggered a heated debate online about sexual harassment in China. Later, the university announced that the professor has been fired, just this Me Too movement in China. So we can see the Chinese people use the social media, express their disagreement or opinion on some social issue affect the policy of the government. And other Me Too movement in social media. Just last month, April 2018, Gao Yan was a promising young student in 1998. During her sophomore year in Peking University, which is the most taught university in China, Gao Yan was raped by a professor her friend and relatives said soon after she killed herself. Now, on the 20th anniversary of her death, Ms. Gao's story has become a rallying cry for China's fledgling Me Too movement, inspiring calls the government to do more to prevent sexual assault and harassment. Ms. Gao's classmates brought the case back into the public sphere when they recently memorized describing how she had told them that a professor at Peking University at that time. The professor forced Gao Yan to have sex. Ms. Gao has told them the professor had spread rumor that she had a mental illness. The widespread anger over the case had brought unusual action. The university had finally fired the professor just last month. So we can see the case mentioned before all belong to the individual use the social media to express their opinion affecting the policy of the government. Now we can move on the other step. The government of China also wanted the social media to guide the public opinion in new media, which we call online participation in government policy making in China. Chinese government has taken significant steps into encouraging online participation in government policy making, so long as this involvement or activity does not directly threaten the legitimacy of the state or official position on political sensitive issues. For example, Chinese People Political Consultative Conference and the National People Congress are the annual plenary sessions that are considered as two of the biggest Chinese public and political agenda. Since 2009, Weibo rapid and successful development not only caught the attention of the public but also attract government and politics in China. Since 2010, the two meetings of CPPCC and NPCC start to engage this important political affair on Weibo with netizens. Deputy of the NPC and member of CPPCC have launched their Weibo account in succession to interact with netizens. They want to understand the opinion of the individual on some policy and adjust their policy according to this feedback. That means they also want to guide the opinion of the Chinese people in the media. So I will give you the last but not the least on the social media in China. The future of social media in China. First, the Cyberspace Administration of China effectively end online anonymity here by making internet companies responsible for ensuring that anyone who posts anything is registered with their real name. That means in the future, anyone in mainland China who want to use the social media must show his ID card or real name to the government. Because the social media account always connect the cell phone number. In China, when we get a cell phone number, we must show our ID card to the company and give my real identity. So now when we use the social media, we should always also show our ID card or our real information to the company or the government. The other, regarding the internet, Xi Jinping, President of China, mentioned that the Chinese ruling party will strengthen the construction of internet to create a clean network space, which means that in the future, the editor in company or some state in the government will delete more and more improper information to create a clean network space. This is one part. Second, authorities dramatically expand their control over what people say in private online chat, making anyone who set up a chat group legally responsible for its content and requiring internet companies to establish systems to rate and score the online content of users, which ensure they follow the community party line and promote socialism core value. What is socialism core value? That means the information in internet or social media must support or at least does not against the government. That means in the future, maybe more and more propaganda information which support the government will expect the internet or social media in China. This is the future of the social media in China. Okay, I will give you a presentation of 40 minutes. The remaining time is Q&A. Thank you very much. You can ask me any question. Not only the social media in China, you also ask me social media in the United States because I also do some research. Okay.
I would like to request everyone to speak on the mic, please, because it is being video recorded. Also, we have 4 classes here.
Yes.
Robert Asadi's Political Science, Paul Wheatcraft's Business Class, Eric Dodson's ESOL, English as a Second Language, and Takako Yamaguchi's Japanese class. So thank you all for being here, and we have a multidiscipline, so we are expecting lots of interesting questions. So let's go with the first question.
Yes.
Well, I do appreciate you came to talk to us, but as an American, your view is all about the Chinese view. You are a member of the Communist Party. You evidently carry the card or the Q-chip, and you're very much about how you're going to protect the information coming out to the Chinese people, how that the government is going to protect and control everything that's said and done, and that how you are putting in very, very specific people to monitor it and tools within the internet to control it and to block it. Now, that is, of course, the desire of the Communist controlling party in Beijing. Many of them are very old. They've been there since the days of Chairman Mao, and they're dying off. And I know how they want to continue to control China under the regime that currently is there, started by the Soviet Union under Stalinist ideas and Brezhnev and their style of living, though the Russians have went away from those types of controls. So you are controlling. In our country, we do not have that much control. We want information to be shared. We want ideas to be examined and shared. We can speak against politicians in our country that we may disagree with, regardless of what party we are. We have multiple parties, and you agreed that that's true. You have one party. You do not allow any view other than that party. So why should we follow your way, which you are bringing to present to us, but yet you will not bring us our way to present to your people?
Yeah, I just give you some data of Chinese policy. I don't want to explain my opinion. I think my vision of to push the democracy in China step by step. As we know, there's a lot of social problem in China. That is why the government want to control the information, because he don't want to make the Chinese society become turbulent if they didn't control the media. So I think now because also the controlling of the information, lots of social problems cannot tackle efficiently and properly. This is a serious problem. I don't want to give you a model of the you to learn from China. I just analyze the data now in China. Just give you some objective view on this. In terms of the democracy in the United States, I also have some idea. Even though multiple parties in the United States and some democracy in the United States, but there's still social problem in the United States, such as the mass shooting, equality, etc., or fake news, or etc. So sometimes I should suggest we should learn each other to improve the democracy in the world, not just understanding one part. That means if I just hold an idea, you should talk about the people with different ideas with you, not just talk about with the same my idea with you, because it will make you become an echo chamber. Only you talk about with different ideas with you, you can understand what's their opinion, how the state of other countries, what's the reason, and how to improve this data step by step. So we can cooperate together to find a practical way to improve the democracy in the world, not only in one country. That's all. Thank you.
More questions?
My question is about the different relationships between internet users, netizens in China, and people outside of China. I wanted to know what type of interactions between Chinese netizens and netizens of the world outside of China were like, and what ways the Chinese government may try to prevent or supplement such interactions.
Yes, thank you. As we know, the people outside of China getting information is different from that in the China. As in China, most of the people cannot read English information or other pocket website. So they only get the propaganda information from the government. Just give you an example. When the perception of the reality of the United States, most of the Chinese people just hold an idea that there's a lot of messaging in the United States rather than democracy or human rights protection in the United States. This is one issue. I think different people, the discussion with different people should make them to understand the different information, diverse news source. Only based on this, different people can talk about and together in rationality. That means now, because also when I talk to different person in the United States, they hold a bias on Chinese people because most of the people did not travel to China and get lots of the information from China. That means sometimes they don't understand the development or the economic development of China, the true idea of some Chinese people. So if you want to bring them together or discuss it, the topic rationally, the first thing is we should build more channel, not just the channel from the government, but we should build more channels through the different university, different channel in the civil society. Only based on this, the people can know more information, to understand other people, to interact with other people. I admitted that the Chinese government want to control the information, just like to keep the stability in the society. So they don't want the information or Western value from Western country to come into China. In a very famous talk in 2013, presented by Xi Jinping, President of China, he argued that in the future, Chinese government should keep part of Western value out of China, which include 7 prohibitions. Not talking about freedom of press, rule of law, or the supply power of the government and the wrongdoing history of the Chinese party, etc. That means, I think in the future we will be more channel in civil society from different countries. Only in this way we can improve our understanding with each other. This is my opinion. Okay. Yes.
So you mentioned a lot of people use VPN in China.
Yes.
How big of an issue is that for the Chinese government, and how hard is it for them to
Yes.
crack down on the people using it?
A great question. Before I came to the United States, I used VPN to get the information outside of China and access the website outside of China. But in the United States this year, I saw a news report that anyone who sells VPN in China in the future will put into jail. That means I have no idea when I come back to China I can whether use the VPN again. Maybe in the future, more and more restriction on using VPN will be launched by the government. I have no idea because it's also a serious problem. I think the first thing to increase the democracy in the world is to let the people know what happened around the world. That means the right to know is the first step of the democracy in the world. Without the right to know, without understanding what happened around the world in different information, you cannot talk about with other people and hold a rational idea with other people. This is a serious problem. Yes.
Would you explain to the rest of the audience VPN and why do they go to jail and what happens to them?
Yes.
How long are they kept? Who controls, who does what with their families? Do they have a voice other than a government voice paid for them? It sounds very, very, it's just no expression. And they have no way, they have no recourse within the law. They just sit in a jail.
Yes, yeah. I just saw the report, a news report this year. VPN refer to the virtual network for people who use this software can access the information in other countries, just like in China. Before I came to the United States, I purchased the VPN from some online shopping, just like Taobao.com in China, which is also owned by the Alibaba. The people in the online shopping sell me VPN online. And now I see the people, the news report that the people who sell the VPN was cracked down by the police. Maybe there's still no, according to my understanding, there are no specific law on VPN until now. But the police had did it. He had cracked down this person. Maybe they talk. They just that, or this is one criminal charge on this activity. This is improper activity making money in China. Because they will define the VPN is an improper product in China. So you charge it through this crime. Because I'm not an expert on law, I have no idea on this, but I saw the news report that anyone who wants to make money through selling VPN will put into jail. But just maybe only a few months or a few days. It's not a long time, but you give a very harsh punishment on them. This is a fact in China now. Yeah.
Thank you for explaining what VPN is.
Yes.
I think we'll have time for one more question and over there. Yeah.
So thank you for your talk. I wanted to ask a question about Facebook.
Yeah.
So we know just a few months ago, Mark Zuckerberg went
Yeah.
before the Congress and spoke about some of the issues you raised about how to create a clean network space.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, their concern is about terrorist, say, websites, hate speech, and so on, fake accounts.
Yeah.
To what extent in your research do you find that Facebook is looking at China's model of firewall, keyword blocking, and then manual actually,
Yeah. In another topic, I give a present in other university. I give them the social media and citizen participation in the United States. I just analyze the privacy in Facebook and the scandal in Cambridge Analytica. I will give some suggestions on how to tackle this problem. The first thing, we should build more and more fact-check website to tackle some fake news. The second, I will suggest that the community or the college should give some instruction or course on how to spot fake news. And the first is that the people in the United States, especially the younger people, should not rely on news from social media. I suggest that they should still get the news from traditional media such as the Wall Street Journal or New York Times. The fourth, I suggest the younger people should talk about people with different ideas rather than same idea, because the same idea always leads the people to echo chamber rather than public fear. And the last, we should increase our ability on critical thinking, which means that we will improve our media literacy on different issues, including fake news. In the Facebook, I think the Zuckerberg should not learn the model of China. They should give the people more ability to understand what is fake news and how to tackle this problem, rather than control this information. Because freedom of spread, or the freedom to know what's happened around the world, is the most important in a democracy. You can know different information and understand what is true and what is fake. Only the right to know will lead to think in rational. This is my opinion.
We had one last question from here.
So you spoke a little bit about the Me Too campaign and how important that is for human rights.
Yeah.
I was curious about the platforms such as WeChat and Weibo.
Yeah.
As far as government censorship goes, what methods are used to control what goes through, and what safeguards are there against, say, covering government corruption, for instance?
Yes. Now, we can see there are several Me Too movements in China this year. In some extent, the Chinese government want to use the social media and internet to tackle some social problems, just like the sexual harassment in the university. When some issue related about the higher official, just like President of Xi Jinping, they will control the information. But if this information is related about the lower official, including the professor in the university, they let the citizen talk about this question and tackle the problem. I think the Me Too movement play an important role on human rights around the world. So we can only tackle the social problem and issues through our citizen participation, which include Me Too movement. This is also my aim on the research on citizen participation. Because only depending on voting, the society cannot become more democratic than before. Only the people improve the ability to citizen participation and get the right information, talk about with other people in rational, that will lead the society become more democratic. This is my idea. Thank you.
How about a round of applause for Dr. Zhang?
Yeah, thank you very much.
My name is Usha Ramanujam. I am the coordinator for internationalization initiatives at the college. On behalf of the committee, I would like to thank each of you for being here and asking very, very interesting questions. We have a better perspective of social media across the world through Dr. Zhang now, and something to ponder and think about, and maybe perhaps take it back to your class and continue the conversation. And I would like to thank all the faculty for bringing their classes and for the lovely audience this morning. I would like to convey my special thanks to the media services for being here. And let's wish Dr. Zhang, he has one more lecture at Cascade campus this afternoon, and he is here for a few more months. Let's wish him a happy stay in the United States. Thank you.
Thank you.